So I just got this new thing. It's made by Grayfighter. So it's, I guess the website is www.grayfighter.com. I didn't actually buy it from Grayfighter. I actually got it from Weapon Outfitters. They're apparently a stocking dealer. So this is sling retention system. I run slings on most of my rifles, and usually the sling just kind of hangs slack, or if there's a way to tighten it down, you can cinch it down, but sometimes, you know, it'll still kind of move around, and I don't really have it tied down. Some guys like to use combat bands, kind of like this, where it goes around the rifle, and then you just tuck the sling into it and then pull on the sling and it kind of deploys it. But if you use rubber bands, they tend to snap over time, and also they can get brittle if it's dry out. So if you're in like some hot areas or desert areas, those rubber bands just might not last that long. So I've always thought, you know, it'd be good to have something to cinch. So this is one thing that I actually got pretty recently too, and I like it a lot because it's really slim, but it's also padded. So if you have it around your neck, it's definitely a lot more comfortable than the Proctor slings, which are really thin, so they tend to cut into your neck. But the interesting thing about this sling is, since they use a metal tab for the slider, it doesn't. The nice thing is it does smoothly move back and forth, but it doesn't hold the sling in the spot that you leave it. So basically, if it's not really under tension, because when it is under tension and you pull on it, it doesn't adjust itself. But if it's a little slack, it can kind of move on its own, and then eventually the whole sling is just open, which isn't really a big deal. Like if you're using the sling and you know, you have it around your body, not a big deal to have it loose like this, and then you can just cinch it tight and the weight of the rifle will keep it in place. But I definitely think, you know, it does kind of move around on its own. And when you just have the rifle stowed in a rifle bag, or basically just have it laying around and you grab it, the slider will kind of slide down on its own eventually. So I was thinking, oh, having something to cinch down the sling would be kind of nice. So I got this Grayfighter Condition. I don't know. It says Condition Gray, so I don't know if the product is actually called Condition Gray. I guess it says Condition Gray on it. So it says Condition Gray, www.grayfighter.com, and then quotations, never fight fair. I'm not sure exactly how this helps you not fight fair, but maybe I will find out soon. So let me show you that up close real quick here. So that's what it says there. And it's a Condition Gray sling retention system. So let's open this guy up. I normally don't just like rip things open, but on video, I mean, I've used these before on other people's rifles, but I haven't like installed one myself or anything. Doesn't come with instructions or anything, but I feel like it probably is simple enough that you don't need instructions. Then you have this cool Condition Gray sticker that it comes with there. It's a pretty nice sticker, actually. Pretty good looking, kind of almost like a spear compass, kind of like a spear compass, and it's got a. So basically, the primary loop goes around whatever you're trying to do it on. So maybe either your buttstock or your rail, I guess I would assume. And then you have this little bit of elastic strip in the middle, and then you cinch this down over the sling, and basically that holds it with tension. But because it's an elastic strap in the middle, when you pull on the sling, it should just pop right out. So let's try this. I got it in wolf gray because I'm a big fan of gray, if you haven't noticed already. All right, so probably just put it in the middle right here on my rail. Yeah, and I'll have the elastic on the other side, so that should work out all right. So let's see. Actually, I want to shift that up a little bit. Okay, so that piece is cinched down, and now that I have that cinched down in the kind of in the rear of my rail, I've got that elastic portion there, so I'll leave that open, and then basically I wonder if this tab will actually clear. That's kind of the one thing I am a little worried about. So, well, I guess it kind of leaves like this portion of it uncinched, which is kind of weird, I guess. But if you pull on this, then it deploys. All right, let me try a different way. I'm just wondering, because that tab is a big tab, so if I actually tuck it in there, it might not actually do the job it's supposed to. But I'm really trying to get this thing so that I don't have to have my sling just like hanging loose, especially when it just sort of hangs there on its own. I think I figured it out. So if I fold it in kind of like a Z-shaped formation, I might have to actually move the sling retention to the rear just to have it in the right spot. Damn, I might actually have to move my QD socket to get it a little bit farther forward, so that way I'll have it in the right spot. For me to actually cinch it down like that. I guess for the time being, I'll just put it right on top of the QD socket for demonstration purposes. Yes, there is like a little bit of like finagling and setup involved, so you do have to kind of play around with it just to see where you want to put it and how you're going to fold your sling so that it will actually deploy properly. Because my main thing is, once again, going back to having that metal tab that sticks up. If I cinch that underneath, I'm not gonna be able to pull it through the loop, and then part of the sling will just be stuck underneath the retention, which is not what I want. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I've actually got it cinched down, and it's not as tight as I would like it to be, but I think that's just part of having the this little metal tab here just kind of comes loose on its own a little bit. But it actually is keeping it pretty nice and tight on there. So like moving it around, for the most part, the sling is retained. If it were pulled on though, it will come out, which this elastic portion in the middle of the conditioned gray sling retention system, it is designed for you to essentially just pull on the strap, and it just deploys the sling. So that's pretty cool. I might have to kind of fine tune it a little bit, maybe move some parts around on my rail just to be able to get that thing essentially under the right spot. And yeah, I mean, it kind of looks cool too. I mean, I don't really know, like, aesthetically speaking, it's not like it's ugly or anything, but it's not like it's like super cool looking either. But I have other straps on my rail, so I don't really care that much. This is more of like a functional thing. This gun is really, I have set it up pretty much for function purpose for the most part, although aesthetically I think it looks great too. So, and that's kind of part of it, I suppose. But yeah, I have really been just looking for a way to retain the sling so that it just sits in the position of being deployable. So essentially, I guess you can either just lift up the elastic and just tuck the sling in if you'd like to do it that way, or you can actually pull that initial tab out. But I think actually that actually works out pretty well. So I can actually just lift the elastic and slip my sling through like that on the front end, and now it's just held. So basically this top portion leads to the front, the QD section there. So when I actually pull on the sling like this, and I do it slowly, it just slides out, and now the sling is completely open. So it's just attached to the 2 points and does not touch the sling retainer. So it's actually a pretty cool system. I think you can get these for like around 20 bucks, but if you look at weaponoutfitters.com, they should have them in stock. They have them in black, FDE, Ranger Green, and gray. And then I believe later they'll probably have multicam black. So you can kind of check that out and grab one that, you know, suits your taste in color. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. The Sierratac sling is actually really great. I'm actually really enjoying it, aside from the one thing that it just does slide on its own. But when you're actually using it, it's not a big deal. I've been running this thing for a couple months now, and I like it a lot. So I might grab a couple more, maybe one in wolf gray. But yeah, basically I just wanted to show you guys those two things. So this is the Sierratac padded 2-point sling. And then I have the Gray Fighter condition gray elastic sling retention. And I guess it's funny because like we were kind of talking about that, how it's like there's that condition system where it's like condition white, you're like totally unaware, and then I think it's like condition red and you're like ready to like fight.